The Tennessee Highway Patrol releasing that dash cam video showing the viral moment. Social media claims a trooper hit a protester are false. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy Redmond.
And I'm Joe Birch. Action News 5's Michaela Redmond joins us now live. And Michaela, the video has racked up thousands of comments, likes, and shares so far.
Yes, a majority of those comments are supporting THP and that the individual in the video was pretending to get hit by law enforcement. But I also spoke to the vice president of MICA, who says the 20-second video does not show the full story.
Move! Get out of my way!
Despite receiving clear orders from a trooper, this individual won't budge.
Move! Move! Get out! Come here!
The trooper then continues driving forward, leaving the scene of the Ice Out for Good protest Sunday. Tennessee Highway Patrol released this dash camera video after claims went viral on social media that troopers hit protesters with their cars. THP says that's entirely not true, stating the video shows the individual was not run over or injured.
It's not surprising that they released a selected clip of what they claim transpired. The reality is that there's a lot more to the story, a lot more video footage, and we have been calling on them to release that video footage.
Tyler Foster is the vice president for the Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action, or MICA. Foster tells me he was at the protest and says it was fine until THP arrived right before it was about to end.
Strikes a safety marshal and a participant, and then it appears to me that the vehicle runs over. This is the woman who was taken into custody. Based on how she moves her foot, that the vehicle may have run over her foot. When THP aggressively showed up and drove into the crowd and got out and snatched someone who was peacefully protesting, threw her in the back of the patrol car, brandished their tasers, shouted at people, advanced aggressively toward people, that naturally escalated the situation.
THP says their priority is always public safety for motorists, protesters, and troopers. THP also says they respect and protect the right of people to protest peacefully, but that right does not include entering active roadways or placing themselves in danger. I did reach out to THP twice today to get a copy of the incident report, and I have not heard back. Again, Foster is demanding THP release all of the video footage from the protest and says he has submitted public records requests. Reporting live in downtown Memphis, Michaela Redmond, Action News 5.
Now, one woman at that protest faces several charges. Rebecca Leathers is charged with assault on a law enforcement officer, indecent exposure, and vandalism, among other things. She was in court this morning. Investigators say during the protest, she was, quote, drunk and blocking the roadway and even going as far as to constantly bang on a trooper's window. When she was brought into custody at THP headquarters, they say Leathers hurled insults at them, even calling two of the officers the N-word, and urinated on the floor while still kicking and screaming.